Virus 13, Chapter 28. During lunch, the whispers started. People were getting sick. The news spread among the campers in hushed voices, only pausing between desperate bites of food. Tony followed Pat to a cafeteria table after they got their small plates of sustenance. Shaking his head, Pat asked, "Did you hear that guy coughing last night?" Big Tony only nodded as he devoured the pita bread sprouting with green vegetation. After he finished swallowing a mouthful of food, he said, "I did indeed. Poor dude was having a tough time. We need to find out what's going on," said a feminine voice behind them. Both men turned to see Marta standing there with her breakfast tray. This was the first time Pat had seen those brilliant green cat eyes up close. Pat hoped they were just bizarre contacts and not her real eyes, but he highly doubted it. "Why?" asked Pat. "Look around. There are definitely at least 10 people missing." Tony shrugged. He tenderly picked up a piece of lettuce that had fallen onto his plate and plunged it between his greedy lips. "You're exaggerating." Pat looked around. "No, she's right. I hadn't noticed, but it seems like there are a lot less of us today, doesn't it? And did you hear Slate this morning? He sounded pretty sick, too. Listen, Thomas told me there's a viral pandemic out there right now. They haven't told us because they don't want us to panic. But we deserve to know what's going on outside this hellhole. Have you seen Slate or Thomas today?" "No, you haven't. Just Manny and a few others." People at the table began to ignore the seemingly crazy girl. Frustrated, Marta saw that Pat was still paying attention. She slid into the seat next to him, making his heart almost stop. Sweat sprouted on his palms as he felt his skin flush. This was his usual reaction to a female present. He watched her flail hands and manipulate her fork, but she didn't touch her food. Speaking of Mandy, where did she go? Pat asked as he searched the room for the tiny tan bombshell. Marta's hand whipped around the room. Not finding Mandy, her eyes narrowed. "No, that's not right. They never leave us alone in a cafeteria. You see, something serious is going on." As if to answer her, the intercom speakers in the ceiling beeped to life. The conversation's laughter and even the clinking of silverware had immediately silenced as everyone froze, hoping to hear some kind of explanation for the rumors of sickness that were circulating about. Mandy's bubbly voice spilled into the room. "Hello, everyone," she shared. "As part of your recovery day, you will have the rest of the afternoon to relax. Dinner will be served at 6 p.m. We hope you will all choose to spend your free time battering yourself and don't forget to stretch." The cafeteria exploded with chatter. "Sweet, is she kidding?" Tony shouted. Marta was the only one not smiling. She shook her head. "No, no, no. I've been here 3 times and never ever have they given us any free time." But her words fell on deaf ears. Tony and the rest of the campers at the table had suddenly forgotten about the rumors, excited by the thought of having some time to themselves. Several people, including Tony, got up with their trays to go back for seconds. "I believe you," said Pat, leaning over toward Martha's. She smiled. "Good. Let's go then, shall we?" Martha got up and walked swiftly toward the cafeteria exit. Unsure if he should follow, Pat watched the pink vixen glide away. "Fuck it," he thought, pushing himself up and trotting after her. When he caught up with her, he asked, "So where are we going?" "The only TV in this building is in Slate's office, but his door is locked." "How do you know that?" "Because I tried to open it already and I need your help to kick in the door." "So you're just using me?" "Technically." "I'm not kicking in any doors. Can you imagine what they'll do to me if they find out?" "Oh, please." Pat stopped. "I'm going back to the cafeteria. I can't do this." Marta rolled her cat eyes at him. "Fine, go back. But what if there really is a pandemic out there? How long will you last? It's a death trap here. People are sick, you know it's true." The fair punishment and the fear of the mysterious illness had a tug of war in Pat's brain as Marta continued down the hallway without him. Standing there conflicted, he watched the slim hips sway further and further out of his reach. He rubbed the palms of his hands in his white shorts, wiping off a layer of sweat. The thought of being alone with the odd girl was too enticing, even if it was going to get him in trouble. "So where is Slate's office?" he shouted. She turned toward him with a smile. She pointed down the hall. "How do you know Slate isn't there?" "Well, number one, the door is locked. If he were there, it wouldn't be. Number two, his bike isn't in the lobby. The hallways were unusually quiet. To Pat's relief, they did not see a single white-clad employee during the trek to Slate's office. When they reached the office, Marta stepped and tried the door lock. Still locked, she pointed at the door. This is all you, big guy. Be a manly man now and break down this door. Pat sighed. I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm trying this. I'm not going to guarantee that I can. Give me your best shot. Pat slowly approached the door. When he knocked on it, he was disappointed to hear that the door sounded pretty dense. Gritting his teeth, he reared back and threw his shoulder into it. Fuck, When his body connected with the door, it didn't budge an inch. It felt like he had dislocated his shoulder instead. A blinding pain shot through his deltoid. There is no way I can do this, Martis. This door is solid as rock. Try again. He desperately wanted to impress the girl, so he took a step back, readying himself for another try. Pat threw himself at the door, much harder this time. There was a third as he bounced it off like a tennis ball. His shoulder lit up with pain again. Oh, shit. Damn it, that's smart, he cringed. I can't do this, Martis. I'm sorry. Now, that was good. I saw the door give a little time. Try again. I know you can do it. You're a human battering ram. While she being sarcastic, he was only succeeding in inflicting pain on himself. Martis put her hand gently on his shoulder. She leaned over and gave him a peck on the cheek, her lips hard, like two jolly ranchers against his face. Do it again, please. This unexpected kiss energized him. A surge of adrenaline ran its way down his spine. Pat backed up, shaking his head in disbelief over what he was willing to do for a woman. This time he got a running start and barreled toward the door like an enraged bull. A millisecond before impact, he closed his eyes, prepared for the painful blow, but none came. Instead, he opened his eyes in time to see a tile door approaching as he crash-landed inside the office. What the hell? Screamed a very frightened Slate, who had opened the door just before Pat reached it. Slate! Yelled a modest, shocked Martis. What are you doing here? Your door was locked and your bike wasn't here. Thought you were gone. Slade was not looking at himself. His long blonde hair looked unwashed and disheveled, hanging down in front of his face like dirty rags. A thick blanket was wrapped around his shoulders. He broke into a painful sounding coughing fit, then took a few seconds to recover. I'm obviously sick, so I didn't ride my bike today. Next thing I know, someone's trying to break down my door. The sick doctor slowly walked back to his desk, ignoring the man sprawled on his office floor. Slade dragged his feet the whole way, then sunk down into his chair, feeling sorry. Don't come any closer, please. I'm dying. Slade, you are being a drama queen, laughed Martis. And usually yes, but today I'm afraid not. I've caught it. If you don't believe me, see for yourself. He pressed a button at his desk and the TV on the wall blinked to light. Sure enough, the news deadlines were scrolling. Terrorists unleashed deadly virus. A sleepy-eyed reporter wearing a mask was explaining how there were a limited number of vaccinations. Slade pushed the button again and the TV died. They claimed that the virus kills everyone that it infects, the most lethal in history. Shocked, Pat had lost the ability to speak. He tried to say no way as he stared at the doctor, but the words got stuck in his throat like a splintered chicken bone. Upon hearing Slade's prognosis, Martis' already pale skin got even wider. I'm sorry, Slade, she said, her voice cracking. Slade shrugged a smile as he looked at the girl. Martis get the hell out of here. No need to cry over me. I just hope you haven't been infected yet. I'm sorry, Slade, she repeated. No, I am sorry. I confess I was the one who brought you back here. I like you, Martis, and maybe I might even have missed you. Martis nodded, I know. He broke into another horrible fit of coughing with a hand. He waved them out of the room, finally managing to say, just leave already. Martis and Pat reluctantly retreated from the room, leaving behind the droopy shell of the once vibrant Dr. Slate. Out in the hallway, Pat looked at Martis with interest. You and Slate? It's a long story. He looked at her with doubt. Well, I guess it's not that long of a story. He screwed me a couple dozen times. She paused, looking at her mom was still back in Slate's office, both literally and metaphorically, it seems. Very briefly, a look of sadness spread across her face. A brief glimpse beneath the pink-haired girl's frosty armor.